Cleaning the garage had been on my to-do list for months. I wasn't expecting to find the one thing that would destroy my life. Lucy had been on me about it, telling me we needed to clear space before winter. "Just get rid of the junk, Mark," she'd said, exasperated. "We don't need all that old stuff." She wasn't wrong. The shelves were cluttered with boxes we hadn't opened in years, stacked so high I'd forgotten what was in most of them. That Saturday, Lucy was visiting her parents out of town. It was the perfect time to get things done. I planned to sort through the mess, donate what we didn't need, and finally check this off my list. It happened when I pulled down a heavy box labeled Old Books. The cardboard was worn, edges peeling, the tape yellowed with age. It must have been packed years ago. I pried it open, flipping through the dusty hardcovers. Classics. Some of Lucy's college books. A few novels I didn't recognize. And then I saw them. Handwritten notes. Tucked neatly between the pages, folded so precisely that they almost looked hidden on purpose. My stomach twisted as I picked one up. "Lucy, I can't stop thinking about you. I miss the way you laugh." The handwriting was too neat, too careful. Not mine. My hands tightened around the fragile paper. I reached for another. "Last night was amazing. I wish we had more time." My heart started hammering. I pulled out another, and another, and another. Some were short, some long, but they all had one thing in common. They weren't for me. A cold weight settled in my chest. I stared down at the pile of letters in my lap, my mind racing. Who wrote these? How long had this been going on? And why the hell were they hidden in my house? I should have stopped there. I should have put them away, waited for Lucy to come home, and demanded an explanation. But I didn't. Instead, I kept digging. And the deeper I went, the worse it got. I spent the next few hours going through everything. The notes weren't dated, but they were worn, like they had been read and reread multiple times. Some were intimate, describing nights together, whispered confessions, things I didn't want to imagine. One, in particular, made my stomach drop. "I hate that we have to sneak around. One day, we won't have to." I exhaled sharply, rubbing my temples. This wasn't just some meaningless fling. Lucy had been in love with someone else. And judging by the way these notes were carefully hidden, she had never planned on telling me. I ran a hand through my hair, my pulse pounding. I needed to know who. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I grabbed my laptop and opened Lucy's email. She wasn't the best at clearing her inbox, which was exactly what I was counting on. It didn't take long. A name appeared over and over again. Kyle. I clenched my jaw, clicking on one of the messages. "Lucy, I miss you. This distance is killing me. When are we meeting again?" Attached was a photo. Lucy, sitting in his car, laughing, eyes shining in a way I hadn't seen in years. My blood ran cold. Kyle. A name I knew. Because he wasn't just anyone. He was her ex. The one she had dated before me. The one she had always said was toxic. The one she had promised me was a part of her past. But that had been a lie. She had never let him go. I don't know how long I sat there, staring at the screen. Minutes? Hours? At some point, the rage settled into something worse. Something colder. Lucy had been lying to my face for years. And now? I was going to make sure she paid for it. Lucy came home late Sunday night. She walked into the house like nothing was wrong, her bag slung over her shoulder, hair slightly messy from the long drive. She smiled at me. "Hey, babe." I forced myself to smile back. She leaned in for a kiss. I let her, because I wasn't ready yet. I needed her to think everything was fine. So I asked about her trip. I listened to her stories. I watched the way she laughed, the way she lied so easily. And all the while, I was planning exactly how to ruin her. The next morning, Lucy left for work like usual. I watched her car pull out of the driveway. Then, I got to work. I printed every single note, every email, every hotel reservation. I made copies, lots of them, and then I sent them to her parents, to her best friend, to her boss, every person who thought she was a devoted wife. I wanted them to know exactly who she really was. Then, I did something I had been waiting for. I called Kyle. His voice was smug when he picked up. "Hey, babe," he said, probably thinking it was Lucy. I smiled. Not quite. Silence. Then, A sharp inhale. Who the hell is this? I leaned back in my chair. It's Mark. More silence. Then, a nervous chuckle. Listen, man. No, you listen. I cut him off, my voice cold. You've been sleeping with my wife. And now everyone knows. I could hear the tension in his breathing. Then, I dropped the final bomb. Oh, and Kyle? What? He snapped. I grinned. She's all yours now. Then, I hung up. Lucy came home an hour later. Her face was pale, her hands shaking as she stormed through the front door. What did you do? She screamed, eyes wild. I stayed seated, perfectly calm. I told the truth. She looked like she was about to be sick. My boss, my family, everyone. I stood up, towering over her. You had years to end it, Lucy. I said, my voice deadly quiet. But you didn't. So now, you get to live with it. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Please, Mark. I made a mistake. No, I interrupted. You made hundreds. She let out a choked sob, realizing there was no way out. No way to fix this. No way to undo what she had done. Her life was over. And I walked away. Because she wasn't worth another second of my time. Lucy lost everything. Her job. Her reputation. Kyle. Turns out, he didn't want her once. She wasn't a secret anymore. Her parents? Disgusted. Her friends? Gone. She tried reaching out. Calling. Begging. But I was already done. Because for the first time in years, I finally saw her for what she was. A liar. A cheat. A woman who had thrown away her life for nothing. And now, she had to live with it. Alone. Forever. Thank you for listening to the story to the end. Please like, share your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel.